Hagelstein from Berlin, and yeah, basically I produce music and DJ and play live and yeah, watch TV. I'm not coming from a very musically family where everyone was playing an instrument and I was playing slightly guitar, like a bit piano, but really on a low level. And the computer, which came into my life, was the best opportunity to, yeah, to form my ideas and to do music like all the other guys. And I had this passion for techno since I was like 13, and yeah, techno is based on machines. So I think like the computer was this thing in my life which was changing a lot. So the guitar was putting away. Now it's coming back a bit. I like to work with other musicians, so I don't do just only techno, but my main business right now is techno, but it would change maybe in a couple of years when I'm getting quieter, more boring. Over the last 2 years I did like so many remixes, so I was becoming like a remix producer, it feels like, and it became a bit too much, so I'm now more focusing on my own stuff, like techno stuff. Yeah, next to it I started working on another band album, which is a bit like similar to what I did before, like Rüder Hagelstein and the Noblettes. One of the guys I was working with is Justin. We are like composing together. He plays bass guitar and synthesizers and stuff, and we started to work at recording sessions again. So there will be something, like I think in the next 2 years. But it's fun, and I started this band project because I was a bit yeah, over with techno for some time. It was techno all the time on the weekends, on the week, techno, and I was like, wow, I want to do something else. And we just started to write tracks with Justin, like one of the bandmates, and yeah, it was kind of a hobby. It was never meant to be professional or like, okay, now becoming a rock band, but it was fun, and it was good to like change the view for some time to another thing, and then to come back to techno and have some more inspirations. And yeah, it was like a techno holiday, I would say. Holiday from techno. To play as a band and to stop my working flow with techno and get back to like real musician stuff was changing my working flow in the studio a lot, because we were not working on a PC, we were working on sheets, like we were writing down notes, arrangements, and the track was more in the head. And when I got back to techno, it was changing the way, so I wasn't just moving like small patterns, I was more creating things like in my head, and then I brought it into the DAW, so it was changing a lot. And now I'm checking more the harmonies, and I'm checking more all the tunings and stuff, and yeah, it's a big difference. It became a bit more professional musician thing in the end, I guess. I hope. I pray for. You were asking me like what changed when I had my band, what changed for the studio life, and that's one of this reason. If I start now, I'm playing some stuff on the keyboard, for example, and then I'm checking, okay, it's this harmony, because I learned more harmonies when I was working with a band, and then it's like, okay, if I have this harmony, then I need a kick drum on this tune. So it's mixing and composing at the same time. So before it was more like putting it in and then bring it to the right order. So now it's like really like harmony, percussion tuning, and then I build up a setup, and then I play the setup and compose the track. And this has happened all the time. So mostly I start like with some chords and the kick drum, doing the toms, doing the hi-hats, build up the track. Later I changed maybe just the instruments or the samples, I'm changing them a lot, but now I'm like composing a track, even if it's a techno track. I'm really into the harmonies and stuff, so it's kind of the same workflow. I build an orchestra, you know, there's an orchestra in the beginning, and then I play the orchestra. Like back in the days, it was totally different. I was just like starting with one thing, and I was not even like working on 30 seconds in arrangement, but any like the loop shit, and now it's more like I'm doing the whole composition, like just with a kick drum, some chords, a bass line, and then I'm adding step by step, like even like the band work. It's like, okay, I start with the piano player, starts with the singer, and then the drummer is adding, and you know, I like this way of having a band and having a setup ready and play it, and then put in the idea, and not like looking for sounds for years, and you know, and yeah, was changing a lot. And it's the thing is, like in the beginning I did the mistake, which a lot of producers do the same mistake. They putting too much stuff into the arrangements. If people come here to make stuff, like they have like 70 tracks or stems, and it's like, and you hear it and it's like, yeah, it's cool, but you know, there are so many details, they're covering the idea, so it's like, kick it out. Everything you can't hear, actually, you can't get off. And now I'm really minimalistic in the beginning, and I'm adding things slowly and more like kicking things than just do another hi-hat and another hi-hat. I mean, a bad hi-hat doesn't sound better if you add another hi-hat on it. I don't have that much outboard stuff, but all the things you can see here were meant to change my workflow. I mean, for example, like this sequencer, this Analog 4, was to not sit on the computer like this. Was more like to, oh my god, get up, stand here, do things here. So even like the position was changing, and it was changing the way I'm working. It was more like for jamming around, bringing some loops, and bringing one idea, and then get back to the computer. So because I was fed up in between to just sit on the computer and do this thing, my back was hating me, and I mean, I don't do gym, I do getting up and do things here or whatever, just moving around for any reason. And I like to, I mean, back in the days I was recording a loop and I was sitting there, and now it's like I'm just switched on, recording for 1 hour, making stuff, and then bringing together some ideas, and then get back to the computer, and then using all the plugins and stuff. For me, it makes no sense to have like 10 plugins, and I can change the presets, but I can't squeeze them out, or what you can do with it. So the best thing is to have like minimalistic gear and plugins, but know everything about each piece. So there you can, you know, you don't need much to do music. You need to get deeper into all the different things. Like a couple of years ago, when I was renewing my computer, I was installing everything, like millions of plugins, and I was just opening the folder and I was like, oh my god, this is way too much. So I tried to reduce it to the things I really work with and really get into it. If I'm working and I feel I'm missing something, or I was working in another studio and I want to have this, then I buy it. And it's always like, if I'm looking for, okay, I need more bassline stuff, then I'm looking for bassline stuff. The good thing in Diva is that you can use bass lines, you can do pads, you can do percussions. I mean, I love the percussion things you can do, and I was using them a lot. So it's very, more, how do you say, like it's a variety of things you can do with it, which I really like. I'm not sure where or when, but I guess I just read it in a sound magazine, and then I was YouTube listening. All right, nice. Yeah, the sound is amazing. I guess it's one of my best sounding VST plugins. And if I want to have like, not even like for my rough techno stuff, but more if I'm doing more like clear pop music or more pop influenced techno, then it's amazing because it's so clear and it's perfectly fitting to my outboard gear. And the usability is so easy, like it's like a Moog. It's not like a complex whatever, millions of different, it's like, okay, there you see oscillator, there you see cutoff, cool, I can work with it very fast, and it's the sound is great, and it's just easy to use. So it's like, even if you just open it, then it's like, it's clear, you see what you get. It's easy, and that's what I like. That's the biggest thing on Diva. I love Diva. If I'm getting like a baby and it's a girl, I would call her Diva, I guess. I feel music for me, it's a bit like gambling. You know, it's like you start it and you can have the jackpot. Like you can start in the morning and then even you can say, fuck man, I have the huge hit going on here, and it's a bit like this. I'm always excited. I start with something, and what's the what I have in the end. So it's always like I'm curious about myself, because I have ideas in my mind, but they're not that finished that I can say, oh, that's a big thing. And then you hear it and it's like, oh my God, yeah, I like to create the creation thing of doing music. In the end, it's so good to go to work every morning and just like what you do. So this is what I tell my dad all the time. It's like everything is cool because I love what I do every day. You put it on your USB stick and you get it home and put it in your hi-fi, and then you're like, oh cool, that's what I've done today. So it's very satisfying to see what you've done. So it's not this kind of job. You go somewhere, you work, and you go back home, and it's. So I love my job, so I like to come here all the time. I like the production. I mean, sometimes I'm crying. So if I have like a deadline on the next day, then it's like, oh shit, it's missing something, I don't know what, and it's like really hard job. Change location is a good thing, and what I'm doing a lot, and I changed the music. So it's like, okay, if I have to do this deadline tomorrow, and I mean you can finish a track in 2-3 hours, it could be really fast, and you can sit there for 8 hours, nothing happens because you're totally tired with the kick drum, and then you start not liking the kick drum, the snare drum, I don't like this, and then you're reducing it, and in the end you don't have anything else. So then now I'm just changing the arrangement, go to complete other track, and then get back to it. I mean the most important thing is to just clean your mind. It's horrible if you have one melody in your head all the time. Like if you do one track a day and you go back home, you're dreaming of it, you're getting up with it, and it's there all the time. And I just try to get it out of my head that I can have like a clear view again to the arrangement. So I like to have a lot of time. Like if they asked me for a remix and they were like, oh, we have 1 week, and it's like, yeah, I can do it in 2 days, but I need another week to get some distance between me and the track. So all you need is time. And the moments when I'm crying, it's really like fucking 2 hours left, and then it's like I don't have the time to get away from it a bit and go back. And these are the more critical moments, I would say. I think this is the biggest advice I would say to anyone. Try to say goodbye to things. Like, try to say goodbye to this bass line, even if you don't. I have a lot of guys here in studio working together was like, oh, I mean, this bass line is so nice, but yeah, it's not fitting to that track. I mean, just put it to somewhere else and you can use it, but don't do it here, even if it's fitting just a bit. And you will never make it fit, so you need to say goodbye and say, the thing is, even if it happens like this and you save it to somewhere, I never got back to it. It's somewhere on the computer, and you need to say, anyway, it's there, I can have it whatever in 2 years, and just say goodbye and go to the next idea. Because most of the time you got stuck with one thing and try to fit things, and it's taking you time, and yeah, just say bye. Anyway, do something else. Sometimes it needs 1 second to do a better thing, but you just need to be a bit, yeah, tough to do that.